Ezekiel Gonzalez. So it's up to Fausto Carmona on a day, as you said, Tom, that wind blowing out a little bit. It's humid here today. Fausto's got to get his sinker going rather than that fastball that's given up 20 home runs so far this year. See if he can do it against an A's club, which is really struggling to score runs.
Well, we're about ready to start, but how about Lou Marson? Caught 16 innings last night, was not going to catch today, and went to the manager and said, "Oh, yes, I am."
Well, good for him. I mean, that's what you want to see as a manager, a guy who wants to be in there.
Yeah, and Lou Marson has become one of the American League's best defensive catchers. Now the right-hander, Fausto Carmona, ready to face the rookie Jamiel Weeks. Switch-hitting second baseman, batting left-handed. Carmona, the sinker, slider, changeup. 27 years old, 6'4", 230 pounds, works first base side of the rubber. The wind and the pitch to start today's ball game. And it is a little bit low, ball one. And we're underway here at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. A game time temperature of 79 degrees. These two ball clubs finished last night 12 hours ago. That pitch over the outside corner, a strike to even the count. Last night's ball game was a ball game that ended up going just over 5 hours. And for the Indians, it was the longest game of the season. The pitch inside 2-1. It also equaled the longest game in the American League this year, and was the second longest game ever in this ballpark. The longest was back in 1995 on May 7th when the Indians beat the Twins in 17 innings. The 2-1 pitch swung on, lifted in the air, right field, not deep. Fukudome in to grab it, and that is out number one.
I think Bart Swain just announced 12 hours and 3 minutes between pitches. Well, they were saying earlier it was a ball game, Tom, that spanned 2 days and actually 2 months.
Right. Yeah.
We went from August to September. How about that?
Well, it is September 1st, and the Indians are still in the hunt. And whoever envisioned that back in March. Cliff Pennington, the switch-hitting shortstop. He'll bat left-handed. The wind and the pitch to him, it's in there, a called strike. Jared head and left, Ezekiel Carrera in center, Kosuke Fukudome in right. Carlos Santana at first, Jason Donald at second, Asdrubal Cabrera at short, Jack Hanahan at third, Lou Marson the catcher. Sinker runs off the outside part of the plate, a ball and a strike. The Indians rank 11th in the league defensively. Fausto Carmona beat the Oakland A's earlier on May 3rd. He was dominant at the Coliseum, going 8 innings, giving up 1 run on 5 hits. He winds it up, and the 1-1 pitch. Pennington takes it's in there again. Strike 2 call. Fausto lifetime is 4-5 against the Oakland A's. Pennington batting .266, 6 homers, 45 RBIs. Bob Melvin has 8 left-handed hitters in the lineup. The pitch swung on and missed. Good sinker away, and Carmona strikes out Pennington for out number 2. Fausto's numbers on the year: 6 wins, 12 losses, an ERA of .485. He's made 26 starts, no complete games. He goes 6 innings per start. Fausto averaging 5 strikeouts, 3 walks per 9 innings. He has the second best ground ball fly ball ratio in the American League, better than 2 ground balls to every fly ball, second best in the league. Now Coco Crisp taking, it's downstairs, ball 1. Coco Crisp, switch hitting center fielder, batting left-handed. 2 outs, nobody on, no score, inning number 1. Coco batting .266, 7 homers, 45 ribbies. The pitch. He bunts it out in front of the plate. Marson, the bare hand grab, hurried throw, and not in time. I'll tell you what, Coco Crisp, the calendar says he's 31. He runs like he's 21. That bunt was out in front of home plate, and Marson did everything he could do with the bare hand grab and throw, and Coco flying down the line as a 2-out bunt single.
Yeah, that dirt is wet out in front of home plate, and Coco wanted it out just a little bit further, and Marson made a good play.
Now the veteran DH, Hideki Matsui. Coco Crisp also leads the league in stolen bases with 38. So he's down at first with 2 down. And remember, with the shift on for Hideki Matsui, there's really no hole for him to shoot for, so no reason for Coco not to run. Matsui hitting .259, 11 homers, 64 RBIs, 3 infielders on the right side. The set, the pitch, and it's in there, a called strike. Today's first pitch delivery brought to you by the UPS Store. Visit the upsstore.com to find the location nearest you. Hideki Matsui, 9 years in the major leagues, 10 years in Japan. The 0-1. Pitch out, nothing going. 1-1 the count. You pitch out again. You don't see it a lot.
No, you don't see back-to-back pitch outs. I remember Grover did it a couple of times. Well, if Fausto stops Coco and gives him a good look.
There he goes. The 1-1 swung on, chopper into right field, but that's where the second baseman is. Donald throws out Matsui.
I was just going to say, Marson has quick enough release. He can still throw him out, but he needs help.
Well, this first inning's a good one for Carmona. The A's get a hit, but no runs. The Indians coming up. The rubber today for the Oakland A's. No score in the bottom of the first inning. He has one of the best curveballs in the game. Sinking fastball, curve, and changeup. 25 years old, 6 feet 206. Ezekiel Carrera leads off and takes a first pitch fastball for strike one. The Indians have never beaten this guy, and they've never hardly scratched him. He is 4-0 lifetime against the Tribe with a .89 ERA. Carrera taking it's in there, strike two. In fact, Gonzalez has shut out the Indians over the last 20 2/3 consecutive innings. Now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, ball one, 1-2. But boy, has he struggled for Oakland since the All-Star break. He was an All-Star, but he's had a miserable second half. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. At the break, Gonzalez was 8-6 with an ERA of 2.47. Since the break, 3-5, but an ERA that's 3 runs higher at 5.44. Now the 2-2. Swung on a little flare toward left, going back to shortstop. Pennington makes the catch in shallow left for out number one. Ryan Sweeney in left, Coco Crisp in center, David DeJesus in right. Brandon Allen at first, Jamiel Weeks at second, Cliff Pennington at short, Eric Sogard at third, and the catcher, is another youngster, Anthony Recker. Here's Kosuke Fukudome, hitting .343 over the last 9 games. And a lot of big hits for this Indians club. 1 out, nobody on, no score. Gio Gonzalez works third base side of the rubber, pumps and fires. Fukudome swings and misses. On the year, Gonzalez 11-11 with an ERA of .335, 26 starts, no complete games, 6 innings per start. He averages 9 strikeouts, 4 walks per 9 innings. The pitch showing bunt. Fukudome takes strike 2. Now Gio Gonzalez has walked more hitters, 76, than any pitcher in the American League. But he counters that with 9 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Doesn't give up many hits.
Nope. He's good. He's better than 11-11, Mike.
Well, the earned run average will tell you that.
Now the wind and pitch, high, and the count 1-2.
He's another one of those Oakland guys that pitches very well at home and not so well on the road.
Well, you could say that about almost all of these Oakland pitchers. The 1-2 delivery. Outside, he missed with it, 2-2. His ERA on the road is more than 2 runs higher than it is at the Coliseum. It's a great pitcher's park, especially at night. The 2-2 offering. Swung on, fouled back. And you look at that AL West, and outside of Texas, those are all pretty good pitcher's parks at night.
Yep.
Anaheim's ball will jump there during the day, but they don't play that many day games. Why do you think John Lackey's numbers are a little different since he joined Boston, leaving the Angels? The 2-2 swung on, fouled third base seats. John Farrell, the pitching coach with Boston when they got Lackey, now the manager of Toronto, was saying Lackey was throwing the same when he had him at Boston. But he said, one, he's not throwing in Seattle, Oakland, and Anaheim at night. He's not throwing against those lineups. And he's in the AL East. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Good curveball, and he got Fukudome for out number 2.
Yeah, and if he's a fly ball pitcher in that ballpark.
Wow. Then you're facing lineups like New York and Tampa, and even Toronto, to say nothing. Well, he doesn't face Boston's lineup anymore. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, switch hitter. He'll bat right-handed. 2 down in the first. No score in this one. Hope you'll be with us starting Labor Day. Boy, what a series that'll be with the Tigers. The Indians and Tigers, Labor Day, next Tuesday night, next Wednesday afternoon. Cabrera swings and hits a 2-hopper to short. Pennington backhands it, throws over, inning over. These two ball clubs must feel like they are swinging oak trees today at the plate. No score after 1. out of the second inning. There is no score in this ball game. The Indians and the Oakland A's last night in a marathon 16-inning affair. The Oakland A's have not scored a run since the fourth inning last night. The pitch swung on, and Brandon Allen ropes one to right center. Racing to the gap and snagging it is center fielder Ezekiel Carrera. Oh, he stretched out on a dead sprint and took extra bases away from Brandon Allen for out number one. That'll bring up David DeJesus, the left-handed hitting right fielder. Boy, heck of a play by Carrera.
Well, he got a good read on it right off the bat. Took a nice route to that ball. Had to go deep.
David DeJesus batting .235, 8 homers, 39 ribbies. He takes ball one outside. Oakland is heading home after this game. They'll be carried to their plane. They have had the road trip. Well, it's a family radio station. It's been a tough road trip. That pitch is low 2-0. They went, well, first off, New York, Boston, and Cleveland. I mean, that's murderous when you think of New York, Boston. And then when the year began, I don't think anybody envisioned Oakland coming to Cleveland at the end of August and the Indians still being in the race. So this becomes a brutal trip for the A's. The 2-0 is in their strike. It's a trip where they led the Yankees 7-1 and lost 22-9 when the Yankees hit 3 grand slams. Then they dealt with Hurricane Irene in Boston. All told, in the first 9 games of this road trip, the 2-1 pitch, down low 3-1, the average time of the game has been basically 3.5 hours. And they've endured 4 rain delays covering another 5.5 hours. So this is an exhausted Oakland A's team here for the finale of this road trip. No score, second inning, the pitch. Down low, and David DeJesus draws the 1-out walk. And as you said, Mike, yeah, the Indians are tired too. But when you're in a pennant race, there's that adrenaline going for you.
You're not as tired today, Tom, after that win and where you are in the standings, if you're the Indians, as you are if you're the Oakland A's and facing a trip back to the West Coast tonight.
Ryan Sweeney, a left-handed hitter. Left fielder in a 2-for-26 slide. The pitch to him, it caught the outside corner, a strike, I beg your pardon. DeJesus, in his earlier years, you'd see him swipe some bases. This year, though, he only has 3. Carmona is a guy you'll try to run on. The pitch, and it's underneath the arms inside 1-1. 1 to stay out of the double play, and secondly, because you can. Carmona this year has given up 9 stolen bases, much better than a year ago when he allowed 33. Now the set, now the pitch. And it's low, 2-1. Ryan Sweeney on the year batting .270 with a homer and 21 RBIs. He came from the White Sox along with Gio Gonzalez for Nick Swisher. Swisher lasted a year with the White Sox, but really found a home in New York. Now the set, the 2-1 pitch. Swung on a number toward first, in on the grass. Santana gloves, looks to second, instead goes to the bag himself for the out. Boy, remember when Nick Swisher went to the Yankees. I think Nick Swisher, if you don't like Nick Swisher from a personality standpoint, then look in the mirror, because you probably don't like much about life. I mean, he's one of the most outgoing, fun-loving guys you'll be around, but that sometimes got him in trouble.
Yeah.
And let's just say Nick Swisher has seen a lot of sunrises, and people thought when he went to New York, look out. But instead, Mike, it's really been a rebirth for him, and he's been a key guy for the Yankees. Anthony Recker, the right-handed hitting catcher, takes a strike.
Well, if Nick Swisher can go any place and come in under the radar. I guess that's saying something. But really, with all the other goings on in New York, he is under the radar there.
Yeah. And he's really had an impact on that lineup. Anthony Recker, 1 for 7. He was just recently brought up. Right-handed hitting catcher. The pitch. And it's at the knees, strike 2. Recker at AAA Sacramento batted .287, had 16 homers, 48 RBIs. 2 down. Runner at second base. Indians and the Oakland A's scoreless in inning number 2. Fausto Carmona comes set. He checks to Jesus at second. The pitch down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fausto Carmona grabs a handful of dirt. Want to remind you that next Labor Day, the game starts at 1:05 with the Tigers. Then it's a normal Tuesday night affair. And then next Wednesday against the Tigers, 12:05. Get those tickets now at Indians.com. Should be a fun series. Now the 1-2. Low 2-2. Tigers are going to be playing a little bit later this afternoon at home against Kansas City. And then they tangle with the White Sox. Tigers have 6 left with Chicago, 6 left with the Indians. The Indians have 8 left with the White Sox. What a month of September this has a chance to be. 2-2 the count. Carmona's ready. Here it comes. Low, blocked by Marson. Full count. The Indians today, with September call-ups, added a couple of arms. Corey Kluber and Nick Hagedorn. Josh Judy will join the ball club in Kansas City tomorrow. As far as position players, they're already here. Full count now on Anthony Recker. Big lead at second for DeJesus. No score, the pitch. Swung on, tapped foul, third base side. We'll do it again at 3-2.
And the way that ball game went last night, there are some arms that need some rest out in the bullpen.
How about that Indians bullpen? 10 shutout innings last night.
What a job by Frank Herman. 4. Retired all 12 batters he faced.
Well, when you're the Herminator, that's to be expected. He did a great job, as did that whole bullpen. How about the job Chad Durbin? Now the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Ran it in on the hands and struck out Recker. Fausto Carmona keeps the A's off the board. No score in the middle of inning number 2. Santana will open up the Indians' half of inning number 2. There is no score, and should the Indians make it to the playoffs, you can guarantee your chance to purchase playoff tickets by making a deposit on a season ticket plan for next year. Go to Indians.com and find out more. Carlos Santana putting together pretty impressive numbers. Batting .241, 21 homers, 66 RBIs. He and Cabrera lead the Indians in home runs. Carlos at first base, the left-hander Gonzalez delivering, Santana tapping it foul, strike one. Gio Gonzalez, he's a guy you look at him and you go, how in the world did he get traded so many times? But they were always big trades. He was a first-round pick by the White Sox in 2004. The 0-1 pitch, up and in, 1-1. A year later, he was traded with Aaron Rowan to Philadelphia for Jim Thome. Another year later, he was traded back to Chicago. That pitch low, 2-1, along with Gavin Floyd for Freddie Garcia. Then traded with Fatino De Los Santos and Ryan Sweeney for Nick Swisher. Now the 2-1. Swung on, grounded toward short, in the hole. Pennington gloves, he's got a cannon, unleashes it, but he pulled him off the bag, but I guess Allen got back. So says Rob Drake. It pulled him off the bag, but evidently Allen got back in time, and Santana's out number 1.
No argument from Sandy Alomar, who
Nope.
probably had the best look at it. Yeah, he does have a gun. There's no question about it. Tom, he's not your Asdrubal Cabrera kind of shortstop. He takes a long time to get rid of the ball. He better have a good arm because he's got long body action.
Here's Shelley Duncan, the DH. Jim Thome, a day off after a night game, pitch outside. By the way, we saw the replay. Good call by Rob Drake. Duncan batting .257, 4 homers, 24 ribbies. He delivers. Shelley taps it toward third, slowly hit. Charged by Sogard. Gloves, throws off balance in the dirt. Skips by Allen down the right field line. Ricochets back to Weeks. And Duncan will hold at first. We'll see how they score it. And it's going to be a base hit for Shelley Duncan. And there's an appreciation, if you didn't have it for Jack Hanahan, that you should now.
Isn't that the truth?
He makes that play with his eyes closed.
He sure does. That ball was not that tough. I mean, Sogard caught it even with the bag, just didn't make a very good throw.
Here is Jack Hanahan, the hero last night with a game-winning single in the 16th inning. He also had 2 solo home runs. Boy, is he hot. Lefty-lefty matchup, 1 out, 1 on, no score. The set and the pitch. Up and in. That spun Hanahan out of there. A fastball. Hanahan batting .429 over the last 14 games.
Call it what you will, but that might be a little respect right there.
Yeah.
Back him off the plate.
Duncan, a very short lead at first. The pitch. Outside, 2-0. Talked about last night being the second longest game. The only game longer was 1995. And, of course, what else could happen in 95? You name it, it happened with that ball club. Now the set, the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, hit pretty well to center. Back is crisp. He'll grab it, 2 down. And it was fun today to see in the lunchroom a couple of guys that were key members of those terrific 90s teams for the Indians. Pitching coach Mark Wiley and bullpen coach Dom Cheedy.
Yep.
They're here respectively, scouting for the Florida Marlins. And I'm trying to remember who Dom is with now. Mark is with the Marlins. Dom was with Texas. Now I think he's with Atlanta. But those guys were great guys, still are. Terrific coaches. And they were part of the reason, too, why the Indians were so successful in the 90s.
In fact, I'm looking over to our right, Tom, and Mark Wiley sitting over in Grover's suite, his box.
How do you scout from there?
Well, you do it by TV. I asked
Okay.
him that, and he said, yeah, you just look up at the TV, and it's as good as being down below behind the screen. Dom Chidi is down there in the sun.
Dom's working, and Mark, he's having lunch again.
Well, he's watching Grover eat, that's for sure.
Here's the 0-1 pitch from Gio Gonzalez. Outside and low, 1-1.
Tell you what, Grover's here almost every night, isn't he?
He
He's
is.
got
He
that-
and Sharon.
He and Sharon are here. Grover doing some TV work occasionally. I've seen him in uniform from time to time. Great to have him back.
Oh, is it ever. And a guy that never got enough credit for being a tremendous manager with this ball club. 2 down in the second, no score. The 1-1. Inside, 2-1. Donald hitting .286, 3 RBIs. Right-handed hitting second baseman. Duncan is not a threat to run at first. Outfield for Donald, a little deeper than you might expect. The set and pitch, and he fouls it off to the right, 2-2. Manny Acta was commenting about this young ball club. All of these games, in essence for the Indians, playoff-like games, just to try to stay in the race. And yet he said there's no tension in the dugout with this ball club, no matter the game, no matter the circumstances. He said they're a relaxed group, and he said not only what it's doing for this club, but how about future years going through this kind of stretch. Donald takes, strike 3 called. Good curveball. Gonzalez strikes out his second batter, and that'll do it for the Tribe here in inning number 2. There is no score in Cleveland. We head to the third. Eric Sogard is going to lead it off for the Oakland A's, a left-handed hitter batting 9th today, and the third baseman. One of the few guys you'll see in the major leagues wearing glasses. No score in the third inning. Sogard batting .189 with a homer, 3 RBI since coming up from AAA. Fausto Carmona gets it over a strike. Sogard went to Arizona State University. Oakland got him from San Diego for Kevin Kuzminoff. Or actually, I beg your pardon, with Kevin Kuzminoff. The 0-1, that's in there, strike 2. Sogard and Kuzminoff came from the Padres for Scott Hairston and Aaron Cunningham. Not a power hitter, primarily a second baseman, playing third today. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, line drive to left field, coming on, making the running catch is Jared Head. Oh, a sinking liner, but Head got a great jump And the book on Jared Head was that he's a good defensive outfielder, and he's shown it.
Yeah, he sure looked that way, stayed right with it. Playing shallow in the off field, Tom, with Sogard, a left-handed hitter. And so Jared Head was shortened up a bit, and that ball had a little carry to it, but he made a nice running catch. You look at it, and I'll guarantee you that ball was not just straight.
No.
That ball was sinking.
Top of the order, Jamiel Weeks takes ball one outside. Weeks flied to right his first time up. He has an 8-game hitting streak, batting .389 during that stretch. He's a good-looking rookie. Talked about him all series, out of the University of Miami, a first-round pick 3 years ago. His brother Ricky Weeks with the Milwaukee Brewers. Now the wind and the 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. Hope you'll be with us on Friday, September 23rd, a special night to honor Jim Thome and 600 career home runs. Indians and Twins will play. Get here early for a great pregame celebration. Tickets at Indians.com. That's a strike to Weeks in the count, 2-1. The Oakland A's and Indians meeting for the final time this year. The Tried 5-1 against Oakland. Carmona's 2-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled back, and the bat rams into a fan sitting in the seats in the front row on the first base side. That female fan says she's okay. She gets an early start on some firewood for the fireplace this winter. One out, nobody on. Third inning. New bat for Weeks. The pitch, and he bangs one on the ground to short. Cabrera gloves it, throws over. 2 down. That'll bring up the shortstop. Cliff Pennington struck out his first time up. 2 outs, nobody on, no score, third inning. Well, I would sure hope that we have a huge crowd on that Friday night, September 23rd, to honor Jim Thome. He has really been touched by the reception since coming back to Cleveland. The wind, the pitch, swung on, fouled out of play. I think when Jimmy was coming here as a visitor, he heard the vocal minority.
Yeah.
Now he's really finding out what the city has always thought about him. It's been a great reception, as well it should be. So mark it on your calendar, Friday, September 23rd. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, roped into right center field, a base hit for Cliff Pennington. There will be a big celebration tonight in Ashland, Ohio, to celebrate the 57th birthday of our good buddy Zap, Tom Zappone. Talk about one of the great guys. We see a lot of Zap, good friends with Matt Underwood.
That may have started already. Matty's not here. There is no television today. That could be ugly.
Women and children off the streets in Ashland. Here's Coco Crisp showing bunt, dumps it down in front of the plate. Marson grabs it, throws out Coco. Coco got a bunt single with the same play in the first, this time thrown out by Lou Marson. But happy birthday to Tom Zappone. And we know it'll be a good one, Zap. Sorry we can't be there to celebrate with you, although at least tomorrow we'll wake up feeling better than you. No score, bottom of the third. Jared Head, 1 for 11 since coming up. Will lead it off for the Tribe here in inning number 3. Head had a tremendous year in Columbus, his first full year in AAA. Gonzalez, the wind and the pitch. And it's high, ball 1. With the Clippers, Jared Head batted .284, 24 homers, 70 RBIs. Into the motion, the next pitch. Outside, 2-0. You look at the Indians lineup today. Jason Donald, Jared Head, Shelley Duncan, Ezekiel Carrera have spent much of the year in Columbus. Now the wind and the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, fouled upstairs, 2-1. Well, wouldn't it be something if Travis Hafner and Grady Sizemore and Chu are still able to help this ball club? And Jason Kipnis. Manny Active feels like Jason Kipnis has been as big a loss as anybody the Indians have had.
Absolutely. The way he was swinging it and playing at the time.
Now the wind and the 2-1 delivery. Swung on, a weak chopper to short. Pennington waits back on it, gloves it, throws in the dirt. Oh, what a nice scoop by Brandon Allen. Boy, for a guy that's as good defensively as Cliff Pennington is, he's had some awful shaky moments.
Well, he's made 18 errors already this year, Tom, which is second most in the American League. And maybe it's just one of those years where you can go into fielding slumps too.
Yeah.
Not getting good hops, not making good hops. And then we've seen some of his throws have been offline as well.
One out for catcher Lou Marson in the Bedford Nissan Grand Slam payoff inning. The wind and the pitch to Marson, and it's outside corner a strike. Rich Reese of North Canton trying to win the 39-month lease on a Nissan Rogue from Bedford Nissan, where it's the dealer. Gonzalez is always stymieing the Indians. The 0-1. Swung on, line to right, base hit, Lou Marson. If you're just joining us, Lou Marson caught all 16 innings last night, was going to be given today off, and talked manager Manny Active into playing him again. Think about the number of pitches that Lou Marson squatted for in last night's ball game.
There were over 500 pitches, I think,
in that game. Now, of course, they weren't all thrown by Indians pitchers, but let's see, Mike. The Indians now to the top of the order, and Ezekiel Carrera to the plate. 1 out, 1 on, no score. The set, the pitch, swung on, a little weak bouncer toward short. Cutting in front, the third baseman, Sogard with a backhanded flip to second. Oh, that was a heck of a play by Sogard. They force Marson, Carrera to first on the fielder's choice with out number 2.
Well, the way that ball was hit by Carrera, if Sogard doesn't make the play to second base, Tom, he doesn't have a play at first, because the way he caught it, he would have had to turn his whole body around and try to make a throw, and with Carrera's speed, there's no way he's able to do that.
Lou Marson was behind the plate last night squatting for 272 pitches.
That's a lot up and down, isn't it?
That's basically a doubleheader. Here's Kosuke Fukudome. Runner at first, 2 down, no score. Fukudome takes a fastball strike. He struck out his first time up. Gio Gonzalez, who's dominated the Indians in his young career, looking good again here today. The 0-1. And a curveball is in there, 0-2. His fastball is something, too, that he's not a soft tosser. He's 92, 93 with that fastball. Then has that good hook. Really has the Indians off balance. No score, third inning. The set, the pitch. High fastball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. There were 34 strikeouts in last night's game. The Indians struck out 19 times, the A's 15. Now the 1-2 delivery. Swung on, bang to first. It's a fair ball. Allen made the play in front of the bag, gloved it and stepped on the bag, and for some reason Rob Drake, the first base ump, made the call on a ball hit in front of the bag.
Hideki Matsui to lead things off for Oakland as we reach the fourth inning scoreless. Matsui bounced to second his first time up. Facing Fausto Carmona, the right-hander into the wide. Here's his pitch. And it's down low for ball one. Now, two pretty good pitchers on the mound, so you would expect low scoring anyway, but with the long game last night, this expected to be a tough day for the hitters, to be sure, as Matsui swings and drives one high in the air to left. Moving back on it his head, and he makes the catch shy of the warning track.
Yes, and tired arms from swinging bats last night.
And just, you talk about that, Mike, but for position players, just the amount of time they were standing on their feet.
Running out and coming back and standing, playing 5 hours. Short night's sleep.
Here's Brandon Allen, who lined to center his first time up. Nice play made by Ezekiel Herrera. The pitch to him on the outside corner, strike one. Fausto looked sharp today. It was kind of deceptive his last time out. The line didn't look quite as good as he may have pitched against Kansas City on Saturday. The pitch swung on, ripped foul off the camera bay on that first base side. 0-2 the count. Tim Belcher still very pleased with what he's seen from Carmona, especially since coming back from that stint on the disabled list right around the All-Star break. Fausto's into the windup. Here comes his 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Took something off that time, and he had Allen chasing. Strikeout number 3 for Carmona. We'll make that our Circle K strikeout of the game. Brought to you by Circle K, home of the 59-cent Polar Pop Fountain drink. Here's David DeJesus. Walked his first time up. 2 down, bases empty, no score. Top half of the fourth inning. With sunshine downtown. Dark was down before the game today. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. Had a brief shower about an hour before game time, but nothing that held up the start of today's game. And now it's turned out to be a nice day for baseball. Here's the 0-1 to the left-handed hitting DeJesus, and it misses outside for a ball. DeJesus was saying earlier this year that when he got the call that he had been traded from Kansas City general manager Dayton Moore, the 2 prior seasons, Moore had called him in the offseason telling him he would be changing positions, first from center to left and then from left to right. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, bounced to first, scooped up by Santana, who takes it to the bag in time to retire DeJesus. So he was kind of wondering what position he'd be changing this year. Turns out he was changing teams.
Changing teams, cities.
3 up, 3 down go the Athletics. We head to the bottom of the fourth. No score from Cleveland. Is that?
What's he saying now?
Busy, can we get? Asdrubal Cabrera to lead things off for the Indians in a scoreless ball game. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Left-hander Gio Gonzalez has been in command so far for Oakland. Here's his pitch to Cabrera, and it's a strike called on the inside corner. Cabrera bounced to short his first time up. Hayes pitching has held him in check. He's just 1 for 13 in the series. Continuing to try and battle through really his first tough stretch of the season at the plate as he takes a pitch outside for a ball, 1-1. It's been awfully consistent since day one and at times has carried this club. 1-1 the count on him. Gonzalez right back with the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 1-2 the count on Cabrera, to be followed by Carlos Santana and then Shelley Duncan, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the order for the Tribe. Outfield playing it straight away for Cabrera. Here's the 1-2 from Gonzalez. Fastball up high. 2-2 the count. Time for the Smuckers. It has to be good. Game summary. Scoring wise, nada. Zip. Zilch. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, and there's a fly ball to right, deep. Going back on it, the right fielder to Jesus, and he makes the running catch just as he reached the warning track. One away. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You are listening to the Cleveland Indians Radio Network. Jim Rosenhaus, Mike Keegan, Tom Hamilton back with you from Progressive Field, downtown Cleveland. Series and homestand finale for the Indians. No score against Oakland. Gio Gonzalez and Fausto Carmona sharp early. Here's Carlos Santana for the Tribe, and the switch hitter takes a pitch down low for ball one. Santana bounced to short his first time up. Identical line scores. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. Here comes the 1-0 from Gonzalez. Fastball outside.
Yeah, that's the way it was last night through the first 6 innings. The 2 starters last night were identical.
And the bullpens shut it down for a long time. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, foul back over the screen.
Yeah, it was almost eerie, Jim, when you looked at the numbers. Harden and Jimenez, they both worked 6 innings, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, struck out 6, walked 2, and faced the same amount of batters.
I'm going to guess that doesn't happen too often in a big league season. 2-1 the count. And the bullpens took over. Indians relief pitching 10 scoreless innings. That follows up a game earlier in August in which they threw a dozen scoreless innings at the Tigers. The 2-1. Fastball down low.
You talk about an exercise in futility on both sides. The Indians went down 24 in a row. Meanwhile, the Indians' pen shut them down, but struggled.
The 3-1. Low and in for ball 4. He lost him. Santana draws a 1-out walk. First allowed by Gonzalez. And that'll bring up Shelley Duncan. Indians baseball brought to you by Dr. Scholl's. And who knows, maybe players on both sides are using some of those custom fit orthotics because they were on their feet a long time yesterday.
Definitely. That would help.
Yeah, the custom fit orthotic has an insert that's best for you only from Dr. Scholl's. Makes you feel much better if you're on your feet a long time. Here's Duncan. Reached on an infield single first time up. The pitch to him on the outside corner, strike 1. Duncan in his last 14 games with the Indians, and that includes a trip to Columbus in between, hitting at a 300 clip. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball bounced to short. Charging Pennington, and he can't pick it up. The ball stayed at his feet, and what looked to be a potential double play ball, certainly a force out at second, results in runners at first and second. 1 away. The Tribe catches a break on an error, the 19th of the season by the shortstop, Cliff Pennington.
Boy, it looked like he was going to field that ball and shovel it in his glove. to the second baseman. He is very awkward looking right now, Jim, approaching and fielding that ball. Basically what he's doing, he's bending from the waist rather than sitting from the knees. And as a result, that ball is getting too close to his body. And he doesn't get a good look at the hop.
Well, here's the Indians' hottest hitter. It's Jack Hanahan, the third baseman, stepping in. A rare scoring opportunity for either side in a scoreless game, and Hanahan takes a pitch up high for ball one. Hanahan, fly to center, first time up.
I guess what I'm trying to say is he overcharged that ball.
You know, you and Tom were talking about it, I think it was last inning, about how here's a shortstop that in the past has seemed very sharp. And he had a couple of series here last year and 2 years ago where he was making diving plays, great throws, but not having the best of seasons defensively this year as Hanahan lifts one in the air to left. Right there, the left fielder Sweeney, and he makes the catch. Hanahan retired. The runners hold at first and second. Now there's two down. But he was very impressive when the Indians and A's met the past two seasons.
He's not had a good series here defensively this time around. But the Indians have to take advantage.
Now here's Jason Donald with 2 on and 2 gone. Runner in scoring position, and that's been a tough venture for the Tribe in this series. Just 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position in the series heading into play today. Here's the pitch from Gonzalez. Swing and a miss. There's that curveball from Gio Gonzalez. No score. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Indians looking for their first sweep of the Athletics since 1999 in a 4-game series. That was out in Oakland. And they haven't done it here since 95. Now, 4-game series are somewhat rare, so you don't play that every season. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball catches the inside corner for strike 2 called on Donald. He was caught looking his first time up. Trying to deliver with 2 down, and Santana, the base runner, at second. Duncan on at first. Gonzalez trying to work through a walk and an error. The lefty sets up high. Here comes his pitch. Fastball up high. 1-2. And Mikey has clearly had better command of his curveball today than his hard stuff.
Well, and when you do that, then you've got to keep going with that breaking ball until the fastball feels comfortable. Fortunately, he's got a second pitch for him that he can go to.
1-2 the count on Donald. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
That was the hook.
Donald down on strikes. Third recorded by Gonzalez. Tribe comes up empty despite the threat. We're headed to the 5th. Indians nothing, Athletics nothing. Ryan Sweeney to lead things off for Oakland as we head to the 5th inning. No score. Fausto Carmona back to work for the Indians. Here's his pitch. And Sweeney takes it low and outside for ball 1. Bottom third of the order due in for Oakland. Sweeney, Anthony Recker, and then Eric Sogard. Sweeney bounced to first his first time up. Left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. And Carmona finds the outside corner that time with a fastball, and the count's now 1-1 on Ryan Sweeney. Did not play the first 2 games, but picked up enough at-bats in last night's game to count for 2 just about. He was 1 for 7. There's a changeup from Carmona that floats in there for a strike. 1-2 the count on Sweeney. Outfield shades him just slightly to the opposite field, leaving a big gap in right center. Here's Carmona's 1-2 delivery. Swung on, bouncing ball to the second baseman, Donald. He's up with it, throws on to first in time. Sweeney retired for the first out in the top half of the 5th inning. Follow the Indians with the MLB.com at-bat 11 app. You can listen to the Tribe on your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. You get that live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more all on your phone. Just text at-bat to 31826 or visit Indians.com for details, and you'll be all set for the stretch drive here in the month of September. Anthony Recker steps in, the rookie catcher. Here's the pitch to him. Breaking ball up high for ball 1. Well, it has been a long road trip for the Athletics. Last night just kind of piling on at the tail end. And I know you and Tom were talking about the cities they've gone to and how long they've been out. The 1-0 outside, 2-0. The games they've played have gone an average of 3 hours and 24 minutes. They played over 30 hours of baseball the first 9 games, and there's been 5 hours and 29 minutes of rain delays mixed in there, too. Most of that over the weekend in Boston.
That's a long time at the ballpark.
The 2-0 misses inside and high, 3-0 to Record. So it might be kind of a quiet flight going back to Oakland tonight. They get the pillows out, the blankets, catch some sleep on the way home. Hey, but they gained 3 hours. So they got that going for him. The 3-0. There's a strike on the outside corner.
So it'll still be light when they get home. They'll want to go to bed.
Yeah. Three and 1 the count. Carmona into the line. Here comes the pitch. Fastball down low. He lost him. Carmona issues his second walk on the afternoon. It comes with 1 out in the 5th inning. Indian staff has been tremendous this year. You look at numbers, and they have the fewest walks allowed in the American League. And that's been a big reason why that you've seen starting pitchers go deep into games.
Last 2 years, that's something that Tim Belcher has really preached. It didn't work real well last year, but it's starting to work this year.
Here's Eric Sogard, third baseman, fly to left his first time up. Hanahan even with the bag and now in on the grass at third. The pitch to Sogard, yanked foul outside of first, just missing the bag. 0-1 the count on Sogard. Mike, there's not a team in spring training. When you're at spring training, you talk to the different clubs. Hey, what are you focusing on pitching wise? Oh, gotta keep those walks down.
Keep the walks down. Strike one.
Yeah, so
working on strike one.
Every team wants to do it. But the Indians have had the success this year, and that's a credit to the pitchers and the coaching staff, just keeping them focused, and pitchers really buying into the value of strike one. Here comes the 0-1. Bunt attempt out in front of home plate. Marson on it quickly, throws to second, and it's in time. Lou Marson on it quickly, fired to second on the bunt play by Sogard, and he cuts down the lead base runner as Sogard reaches at first, but a good play by Marson.
Yeah, heads up play by Marson. That ball didn't go 5 feet in front of home plate, so Lou knew he had a chance if he could field it cleanly to get the force out at second base, and he did.
And Cabrera on a high throw, and with the base runner coming in hard, Recker just managed to keep his foot on the bag before coming off the bag as he leaped in the air. 2 gone, runner at first for Jemile Weeks, who's 0 for 2 today. He's had a good series, though. He has 5 hits in the series coming into play today. He has flied to right and bounced to short. No score, top of the 5th. Carmona delivers. Fastball, strike 1 on the outside corner. Don't forget, rest of the regular season in terms of home games, you can help honor Jim Thomey's return to the Indians with the special Diamond Deal ticket bargain. You get a lower reserve seat ticket plus $10 to spend on food and merchandise, all for just $25. I'll tell you how to order online after this pitch from Carmona. It's an 0-1 count on Weeks, and he throws to first, back safely. Is Sogard. Just go to Indians.com and then select the game you'd like to attend, and there'll be a box that pops up that says Thomey. Just check that box and you'll be all set to get that discount. $25, lower reserve seat ticket, and $10 to spend on food and a team shop if you like. Not many home games left. Just a quick homestand with Detroit starting Labor Day. And then 9 games in 7 days later on in September that could go a long way to deciding the American League Central. Weeks lines one to left. That falls in for a base hit. Moving up to second is Sogard. Runners at first and second for Oakland. And as the Indians threatened in the bottom of the 4th for the first time, now Oakland putting together a rally with a couple of men aboard for the first time in this game. Well, that Weeks is impressive.
Well, I said it last night and I'll say it again today. As you look at him, I mean, this is a guy, if he continues, and even if he just maintains, I mean, right now, he's a 300 hitter. He's stolen 20 bases. A youngster that I think the thing that he has to improve on as you look at him overall is probably his fielding. He's a little stiff defensively, but he and his brother are offensive players.
Here's Cliff Pennington. Pennington takes it down low, ball 1.
I mean, they've got a leadoff hitter for a number of years in Weeks right now.
He has been impressive in this series, the first we've seen him since his call up from the minor leagues.
Now a 9-game hitting streak.
1-0 the count on Pennington, left-handed hitter. Switch hitter left side, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Good pitch by Carmona. There's some cloud cover now downtown. The lights are on here at Progressive Field as it's supposed to be that kind of day. Some sunshine, cloud cover. We won't even mention the potential for pop-up showers.
They were around this morning, that's for sure.
Some places tougher than others. The 1-1 swung on, line drive left field. That's a base hit. Head will play it on a couple of hops. Rounding third and scoring is Sogard. And it's Oakland that grabs the lead in this one on the RBI single by Pennington. 1-0 Athletics here in the 5th.
The A's left-handed hitters have done what most clubs try to do against Carmona, some more successful than others, but that is take that sinker that's down and away and hit it to the opposite field. Both Weeks and Pennington with opposite field base hits.
RBI number 46 on the season for Cliff Pennington. And he breaks the scoreless tie here in the 5th inning. Coco Crisp to step in with 2 on and 2 gone as Carmona tries to work out of it with minimal damage. He sets and delivers. Runners on the move. The pitch is down low. The throw by Marson to third. Not in time. A double steal as Weeks steals third and Pennington moves up to second. Weeks now at 21 on the season. Good jumps that time as Weeks was off quickly.
Yeah, got a good jump. The throw from Marson a bit high. If it's down, they may have a better shot. You talk to base stealers, though, Jim, especially if the middle infielders are giving you a wide berth, it's easier to steal third base than it is second. You get a better jump, therefore shorter distance.
Here's the 1-0 to Crisp. Fastball misses low and in. 2-0 to Crisp with a couple of men in scoring position now. Oakland able to come through with runners in scoring position. Pennington already this inning, and they have struggled mightily. 1 for 14 last night in that area, and only 3 for 32 coming into this game in the series. The 2-0. Swung on, line drive, base hit, right field. 1 run will score. Pennington is held at third as Fukudome fires it in quickly. But it's another RBI base hit with 2 down, and Oakland, on the single by Crisp, now leads it 2-0. Now Carmona fell behind and came out, fired a strike, but Crisp was all over it. Tim Belcher to the mound to have a chat with Fausto Carmona.
Yeah, last 3 hitters, the Fausto's ball has been up, not real good movement in terms of going down, and the 3 lefties have taken advantage of Carmona.
Yeah, the Indians headed into play today, 5.5 back of Detroit, still in the playoff hunt, and now is the time to register for your chance to purchase tickets for all potential playoff games here at Progressive Field. Just log on to Indians.com/postseason, and you enter for the opportunity with winners to be notified by email on September the 13th with details on how to purchase single game tickets for the Division Series, and if it keeps going, the ALCS and the World Series. Go to Indians.com for more information. Here's Hideki Matsui, runners on the corners. There goes Crisp with the pitch. Great jump, no throw by Marson. Coco Crisp now with 39 steals on the season.
And just nothing that Lou Marson could do. Look the runner back at third base.
So it's second and third again with Matsui at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today, but he's been swinging a better bat during the second half of the season. Here's Carmona's pitch. Matsui takes it low and outside. Crisp now with the American League lead in stolen bases with 39. Pennington, the base runner, down at third with Crisp out at second. Here's the 1-1 to Matsui. Swung on, poked foul over to the on-deck circle on the third base side.
Yeah, Hanahan is playing off the line, the third baseman. He's the only guy on the left side of the infield. I think there must be at least 100, maybe more than 100 feet between Hanahan and Cabrera. There's a huge hole where the shortstop usually resides.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Matsui. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase a pitch low and away, and Carmona works out of it, but not before Oakland scores the game's first 2 runs. And as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning, it's the Athletics 2, the Tribe nothing. Jared Head to lead things off for the Indians, who for the first time today find themselves trailing. It's 2-0 Oakland after the Athletics struck for two out runs in the top half of the inning. Head, first pitch swinging, grounds one to short. Pennington up with it, throws on to first just in time on another throw that sailed on him, but big stretch by Allen. Head's retired, quickly one out. Lou Marson will step in. Marson singled his first time up.
Well, I'll tell you right now, just watching Pennington, his mechanics are very bad right now. Fielding and throwing mechanics. Not setting himself up and stepping to his target. He stepped almost towards second base, and the ball just flew on him. Never got the front shoulder closed, and that ball just tailed away.
Here's the pitch to Marson. It's down low for ball one. Gio Gonzalez with a good one going. No runs, 2 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Here's the 1-0. Down low, 2-0. Had that rough stretch right around All-Star break time, and you talk to some of the Oakland folks, and it was his first opportunity to go to the All-Star game. And sometimes that will change in routine. You miss that rest time during the All-Star break. The 2-0, down low, 3-0. And he was not as good for a long time coming out of that, but visiting with him the other day, Mike, he said, I feel like it's starting to get back to where it should be. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Strike called on the inside corner.
It has been so far today. Of course, he's always pitched well against the Indians.
4-0 in 5 starts. In fact, first the 3-1 to Marson. Just misses inside. Marson draws a walk out of that number 9 spot in the lineup. And the Indians have a 1-out base runner. With the 4+ innings today of shutout baseball, it's now 25 innings even, consecutive scoreless innings thrown by Gonzalez against the Indians in his last 4 starts. That's pretty solid. Give yourself a chance to win doing that.
Yeah, you sure do. See if the fact that he walks the number 9 hitter poses a problem for him.
Ezekiel Carrera steps in. Gonzalez stretches and delivers, and it's swung on, chopped foul at home plate with the runner on the move, Marson. How about this way to spend an off day? The A's with an unexpected off day as they arrived here late Saturday from Boston. They played that day-nighter to try and get the jump on Hurricane Irene, and so they had an off day here in Cleveland. Most players, after arriving at 3 o'clock, they slept in, just kind of hung out at the hotel. But Gonzalez took in one of Northeast Ohio's summertime jewels. Here's the 0-1. It's up high, 1-1. He and Guillermo Moscoso went over to Cedar Point.
Why not?
Spent the day at the amusement park, and he said it was awesome. They'd obviously never been, but so many folks around here, I don't know, you take it for granted, but they know how it can be a lot of fun over there. And said he did as many roller coasters as possible on a crowded Sunday, but had just as much fun. Crushed some funnel cakes and donuts, ice cream, and a waffle cone. He said it was. He had to stay away from the strength and conditioning coach when he got in here Monday. But throw to first, back safely is Marson. One of the more personable young pitchers in the game today, Gio Gonzalez. It's interesting, Mike. He said that he misses Dallas Braden, was someone that he really looked up to, and Braden's on the DL for the season with the shoulder surgery. He'd thrown that great game on Mother's Day last year. Here's the 1-1. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. But he said Braden really taught Gonzalez how much you have to study in this game when you prepare for starts. Study video, your own tendencies, what the other hitters are doing. A little adjustment period this summer with him not around the ball club due to rehab. Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2-2. But he gives a lot of credit to his pitching coach, Ron Romanek, who's in his first season as the Athletics pitching coach, but he's been their bullpen coach for several years, so a good relationship had been built up there. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the fastball, and That's been a rarity so far. He's been doing most of his damage with the hook, but that time came with the hard stuff.
Yeah, it looks like he's found that fastball here in this 5th inning.
2 gone. Here's Fukudome with Marson at first base. 2-0 Oakland leading. They grab the lead in the top half of this inning. Fukudome has struck out and bounced to first. Gonzalez from the stretch. Here's his pitch. Fastball for a strike on the outside corner. Outfield straightaway, infield back with 2 down. Fukudome's been red hot. Already with as many runs driven in 31 games with the Indians as he had in 87 with the Cubs. As he takes a pitch outside for a ball, 1-1.
Yeah, he's really come alive here in these last 2 or 3 weeks.
Left-handed hitter who stands fairly close to home plate. Crowds it a little bit. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, looped foul, out of play, third base side. Yeah, the Indians also traveling after the game today. They're headed to Kansas City. Open up a series with the Royals tomorrow night. 8:10 first pitch tomorrow night, 7:10 Saturday night, 2:10 on Sunday afternoon, and it's right back here for the big series with the Tigers starting Labor Day Monday at 1:05. Now the 1-2. Swung on, bounced foul just past the third base bag. So it remains 1-2 on Fukudome.
Fukudome is tough to defend, Jim, because he's a little bit like Ichiro in that it looks like he's going to hit it one way and he ends up hitting it another way. You know, he's got a funny stride to the ball, and you think maybe he's going to pull it, and he hits it down the third baseline.
Here's the 1-2. He laid off a breaking ball that missed low and outside. That's good plate discipline right there by Fukudome.
Well, that's the other thing. He hangs in against lefties just as well as he does against righties. His batting average when he came over was about the same against both.
Now the 2-2. Breaking ball again. He laid off again, and the count is run full. 3-2 on Kosuke Fukudome. So that will release Marson over at first base with 2 down. Tribe trailing by 2. Trying to break through against Gio Gonzalez in the 5th inning. The left-hander sets. The payoff pitch. Outside and high. Came back with the hard stuff. Missed with it. And Fukudome walks to put runners at first and second.
Well, this is one thing that has hurt Gio Gonzalez this year, Rosie, and that's the base on balls. Yeah, he strikes people out, but he also leads the league in walks. Coming in with 76, he's walked 3 today.
Now he's walked himself into a jam here in the 5th. A 1-out walk to Marson, now a 2-out walk to Fukudome, and it gives Asdrubal Cabrera an opportunity. 0 for 2, he's bounced to short, fly to right. Switch hitter, right side. Here comes the pitch. Fastball up high.
Well, right now, Asdrubal needs a base hit in the worst way. He's struggling. He's had a tough series. A little blip on the radar screen here in terms of the year that he's had. But I mean, you play as much as he has, you're going to have dry spells. This would be a big time here.
Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, popped up foul. Third base, make it first base side and out of play. Drifts into the club seats. That gentle breeze continuing to blow out to just about dead center, right center. And anyway, a slice of the ball should carry well. Cabrera trying to deliver midway through this game. Get the Indians right back in it. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, and it's a high fly ball to shallow right. Coming in to Jesus. He's under it, and he makes the catch to retire the side. Indians threaten but do not score, and as we head to the 6th, it's Oakland 2, the Indians nothing.
We go to the 6th inning with the Oakland A's on top of the Cleveland Indians. Tom Hamilton, Mike Egan, Jim Rosenhaus with you on a gorgeous day in downtown Cleveland. 2-0 Oakland on top. We go to the 6th inning. Fausto Carmona facing the number 5 hitter, Brandon Allen. He's lined out, struck out. The wind and the pitch. And it's outside. Ball 1 started him off with a changeup. The only runs in this game came last inning. And Oakland did all of its damage with a pair of 2-out RBI singles from Cliff Pennington and Coco Crisp. The 1-0 pitch swung on a tapper to first, fielded by Santana, even with a bag. Runs to the bag for the out, 1 down. Here's David DeJesus, has walked and grounded out. Fausto Carmona has struck out 4 and walked 3. Gio Gonzalez doing what he always does, shutting down the Indians. Has struck out 4. He's also walked 3. And that's your Northern Ohio Chrysler Dealers game summary. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it's bunted up in the air, foul first base side. Well, boy, the Oakland A's are bunt happy today. They've been dropping down bunts right and left.
Not exactly sure why. The way Hanahan plays third base and the way Marson bounces out behind the plate.
Yeah. Coco Crisp has laid down 2 bunts. Mm-hmm. Eric Sogard's laid down a bunt. 2-0, Oakland with the lead. The wind and the pitch. Outside, 1-1. Meanwhile, Kansas City leads Detroit 2-0. The problem? Second inning.
Really?
Back-to-back games, the Tigers have rallied in the 8th inning to beat the Royals. DeJesus has grounded out and walked. Carmona's pitch, outside and high, 2-1. 2 runs, 5 hits for the A's. Nothing on 2 hits for the Indians. Game 4, the Indians looking for a sweep. It is tough to sweep anybody in 4 games. Kansas City and Detroit, a 4-game series. Tigers have won 2. The 2-1 swung on, foul to the left, 2-2. Tigers lead the Indians by 5.5. They lead Chicago by 6. Tigers and White Sox play this weekend. The Indians play the Royals. Boy, can you imagine, Mike? We're in the 6th inning. 1 out, nobody on. 2-0 Oakland. David DeJesus awaiting the 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Swung on and missed. Good changeup. Got him. 5 strikeouts for Carmona. Can you imagine if a player were pulling the same stunt Ozzie Guillen is pulling in the middle of a pennant race, saying he needs a contract extension?
No, that's just taking and putting all the attention away from what's important right now. That's winning baseball games. You win baseball games, you'll get your contract extension.
Here's Ryan Sweeney taking a strike, and he's got a contract for next year.
Yeah, but that's the relationship between he and Kenny Williams, I guess.
All about Ozzie.
Yeah, power struggle.
Well, when you're the face of the franchise, that's what happens. The 0-1 pitch, outside and low, 1-1. We'll be in Chicago in the middle of September, and hope you'll be with us for what should be a very big 4-game series at Guillen Stadium on the south side of Chicago. Now the 1-1 delivery, outside 2-1, a changeup. But if a player had a contract for next year and was barking about, I need an extension or I'm not coming back, and you're in the middle of a playoff race, maybe that's why Chicago's the most underachieving team in baseball. The 2-1. Swung on, fouled third base side off the roof of the Indians' dugout.
Well,
2-2.
You know what? He's barked so long.
Yeah.
That sometimes I think he does it just to hear himself talk. And number 2, when you get a guy like that, I think the players just say, man, that's Ozzie.
Yeah.
But certainly, it's almost like that's the emphasis and not winning.
Yeah. And the White Sox have been playing well. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Carmona with a good fastball running away from Sweeney gets his 6th strikeout. Indians trying to crank it up offensively. 2-0 A's, middle of the 6th. Drive on the short end, 2-0. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and as always, Gio Gonzalez has been superb. The Indians haven't scored off him since Charlie Finley owned the ball club. The pitch, it's in there, a strike. He has now shut out the Indians 25 2/3 consecutive innings. That's incredible. The wind and the pitch. Santana lays off on a pitch outside, 2-0. The longest stretch for an Oakland A's pitcher of consecutive scoreless innings against the Tribe, Bob Welch back in the late 80s, 28 consecutive scoreless innings. The pitch outside, 3-0. Good changeup, but it missed. Bob Welch had some big years for those really good Oakland A's clubs, 88, 89, and 90. Now the 3-0 pitch. Santana takes it's in there, 3-1. Santana has grounded out and walked. Gonzalez has walked 3 in the game, but none of the walks have hurt him. He kicks, he fires. Santana takes ball 4, another walk. Last night, the Indians didn't have a lot of scoring opportunities. They were 1 for 10 with men in scoring position last night. Oakland was 1 for 14. Today, the Indians are 0 for 3 with men in scoring position. And that kind of a series. So the Indians get the leadoff man aboard for Shelley Duncan, the DH, 1 for 2, a single. He takes ball 1, a tie. Jim Thome does not play day games after night games. And with the left-hander, good time to rest Jimmy. Shelley Duncan really hits left-handed pitching. The set and the pitch. Down low, 2-0. Dr. Scholl's Odor X is in action with powder spray and insoles. X out that odor with Dr. Scholl's Odor X. To the mound goes catcher Anthony Recker. Suddenly, Gonzalez having command issues. He does lead the American League with 80 walks. 4 walks per 9 innings. He's walked 4 today. The Indians 1 swing of the bat from tying up the game. Breeze blowing out today. It's now in the low 80s. Beautiful day here in Cleveland. Gonzalez with the set. With the pitch. Swung on, lifted in the air to right. DeJesus drifting back. He's looking up into the sun and makes the catch on Duncan. And that is out number 1, and that'll bring up Jack Hanahan. He's flied out twice today after the 2 homers and the RBI single last night. Indians looking for that spark. Been a terrific club all year long, coming from behind late in games. The Indians have 22 last at-bat victories this year. They have 11 walk-off wins here at Progressive Field, including last night's on Jack Hanahan's game-winning single in the 16th. 1 out, 1 on, 6th inning, 2-0 A's. The set, the pitch, curveball and a beauty. 22 last at-bat victories for the Tribe. Of course, everybody in Cleveland remembers that 95 juggernaut. That's the year that baseball only played 144 games because the strike carried over into April. The pitch, down low, 1-1. The Indians were 144 that year. Of those 100 wins, 27 came in the last at bat. Now, with that lineup, you could see why. It's amazing this year for an offensively challenged club, especially with the injuries. They still have 22 last at bat wins. The pitch, curveball, and another good one. 1-2 the count. The Indians have won 3 in a row, 5 out of 6, trying to keep the heat on the Tigers. 5.5 games back. Down 2-0 here in the 6th. The set by Gonzalez, the pitch. Up high, missed with a fastball. Let's see if he goes back to the curve. 2-2 the count. Gio Gonzalez has made 89 pitches, 48 strikes, 41 balls. But he has kept the Tribe off the board. The left-hander is ready. Here it comes. Swung on and missed. Went back to the curve. Struck out Gonzalez. I beg your pardon. Gonzalez struck out Hanahan. 5th strikeout for Gonzalez. 2 down for Jason Donald, who has struck out twice. Once looking, once swinging. Hard to believe Gio Gonzalez has an ERA of 5.5 since the All-Star break. He's been brilliant today. 2-0 A's, 6th inning, a runner at first, 2 down for Jason Donald. Gonzalez is ready. Checks first the pitch. Fastball is low, ball 1. The 1-0. Curveball low, 2-0. Kansas City still leading the Tigers 2-0. Detroit batting in the bottom of the 3rd. The next delivery, swung on, drill toward right center. On the run is Crisp. Reaches out, makes the shoulder high catch. Donald spanked it, but the line drive caught by the center fielder, Coco Crisp. To the 7th we go. Oakland 2, Cleveland 0. Fausto Carmona at 84 pitches starting the 7th. Recker has struck out and walked, right-hander against right-hander. Carmona wheels into the motion, and the pitch is swing and a miss on a terrific, almost unhittable sinker. Boy, the bottom fell out of that baby. Outfield shading Recker the other way toward right. It's a day where the ball is really carrying, except nobody's hit any very hard. Good pitching today. The 0-1 swung on, bang to third by a diving Hanahan down the left field line, headed toward the corner. Recker's on his way to second with a leadoff double. So the A's, who lead 2-0, get a double from the number 8 hitter. Now Eric Sogard will probably be up there bunting. The number 9 hitter tried to bunt in the 5th inning. The Indians got a force at second. He's 0 for 2. He's a left-handed hitter who's only batting 179, and the way Oakland struggles to score runs, you would think manager Bob Melvin would play small ball here in the 7th inning. Indians sure think so. They pinch in at the corners. Carmona, a long look in, nods in agreement with Marson. He fires. Sogard squares, bunts it up in the air towards the third base line. Carmona lets it drop, and it's going to be a base hit. Carmona let it drop and then just looked at it. And it's a bunt single for Sogard down the third base line, and now runners at the corners with nobody out.
Boy, and not a good decision by Fausto, Tom, because that ball was too much on the grass. It was not going to spin and go foul. When Fausto didn't think that he could get it and make a play anywhere, he just let it go. But I still think he had a chance to go to first base. But that ball was way too far on the grass for it to get over to the line and go foul.
Wow, now a heap of trouble for Carmona. Top of the order, and the top of the Oakland's order today has really been good. Weeks, Pennington, and Crisp, all switch hitters, have combined for 5 hits and 2 RBIs and 3 steals. Wrecker at third, Sogard first, nobody out, 2-0 Oakland, and the Tribe pen about to get busy. Weeks batting left-handed, lines one toward the line and left, coming on head, and he can't make the catch! Ball kicked off his glove, drops at his feet. In to score is Wrecker. Sogard to second. Oakland leads 3-0 on a ball that should have been caught by Jared Head in left. I wonder if he peeked to see where the runner at third was. He came in toward the line, and he was there to make the catch. And it glanced off his glove. That'll be a sac fly and an error on Head and left.
Yeah, good ruling right there, because that ball was definitely catchable, Tom. I mean, he had it in his glove, let her high, and dropped.
Ooh. Now it's 3-0 Oakland, and still nobody out. Runners at first and second, and let's see if Cliff Pennington is bunting. 2 for 3, a couple of singles, and RBI. He'll bat left-handed. From the set, the pitch. Pennington not bunting, swings and misses, strike one. So Weeks gets his 25th RBI. If that ball is caught, Wrecker doesn't tag and score. Not with nobody out. That ball wasn't hit that deep.
I guess you can't assume, however.
And that's why he gets the sac fly. Now the set in the 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1, and again, he was not going to bunt. So the A's got a leadoff double, a bunt single that should have been an out, and a sac fly that goes as an error on what should have been out number 2. And now Oakland trying to bust it open, leading 3-0 in the 7th with 2 on and nobody out. And Detroit has tied Kansas City 2-2 in the 3rd. From the set, Carmona's ready. The pitch. Swung on, fouled back in the count 1-2.
We talked about the bunt last night, Tom, and I guess Bob Melvin is up 3 runs and playing for a big inning, but the way they've struggled to score runs with the middle of the batting order coming up next, you would think that you'd get Pennington, the number 2 hitter, to advance the runners and get another run or 2. But he is not doing it that way.
Meanwhile, rookie left-hander Nick Hagedorn warming in the Indians' pen. The 1-2 delivery. Swung on, fouled upstairs. Will do it again at 1-2. Well, this is where Fausto Carmona has been so good all second half. Not imploding. Not letting an inning or a game get away from him. And he's really being put to the test here. 3-0 Oakland in the 7th. Sogard at second. Weeks at first. Still nobody out. Carmona nods in agreement. Now he comes set and fires. Swung on, hammered, foul down the right side. Will do it again at 1-2. Boy, the way Gonzalez looks, the Indians just can't afford to get any further back. Carmona's 1-2 pitch. Down low, wouldn't bite at the changeup. 2-2. Still time to enjoy Indians baseball at Progressive Fields all-you-can-eat seats. Unlimited hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, and Pepsi products, just $32. Indians.com, the place to get your tickets. Cliff Pennington out of Texas A&M University. The 2-2 delivery. Swung on, grounded to first, diving, kicks off the glove of Santana, caroms to the second baseman, Donald. Now he throws late to first. Carmona was there, but Donald threw too late, and the bases are loaded on what would be an infield hit. And right now for Carmona, he can't buy a break. Looked like if Donald throws to first, they at least get an out there.
Yeah, off the glove of Santana. And Donald's first instinct was to try to go to second base, but not going to get the runner there. And by the time he turned to look at first, it was too late.
And Manny Acta is heading to the mound. Bases are loaded, nobody out. Oakland up 3-0 in the seventh. A Northern Ohio Toyota dealer's pitching change. Carmona has been done in by some poor defense. We'll be right back. Well, so much for easing Nick Hagedorn into his Major League debut. The bases are loaded, nobody out. Oakland up 3-0 in the seventh, and he's got to face the heart of the Oakland order. Nick Hagedorn has been with Cleveland 2 different times this year, but did not appear in any games in late August. In AA and AAA combined this year, 6 wins, 4 losses, an ERA of 2.83. Averaging more than a strikeout per inning. He is a big, hard-throwing left-hander with a good fastball slider, 6'5", 230, 25 years old. Hagedorn facing Coco Crisp, who will bat right-handed. 3-0 Oakland. They're loaded up, nobody out in the seventh. The pitch, fastball is up, ball 1. Hagedorn came with Justin Masterson in the Victor Martinez trade. And that's turned out to be a terrific trade for the Indians. They have a number 1 starter and a guy they think could maybe even someday close in the bullpen, talking about Nick Hagedorn. Meanwhile, Victor Martinez is no longer a Red Sox. Sogard at third, Weeks at second, Pennington at first, nobody out. The 1-0 pitch. And down low, 2-0. The problem for Hagedorn, no margin for error now.
Not with the bases loaded.
And when you look at his numbers this year in the minor leagues, 76 strikeouts and 22 walks in 70 innings. A little different, though, in your first major league appearance. Now the 2-0 pitch. That's a strike to the outside corner. 2-1. Hagedorn is out of the state of Washington. He was one of those sandwich picks between the first and second rounds in the 07 draft by Boston. The 2-1. Swung on a little pop foul out of play to the right. 2-2. He was the 55th player chosen in the entire draft of 07. He was initially a starter in the minor leagues. This is the first year that he's been used exclusively out of the bullpen. Hagedorn is ready. The 2-2 to Crisp. Up high, full count. Nick Hagedorn attended the University of Washington, played 3 years for the Huskies. One of his teammates, Tim Lincecum. Now the payoff. Swung on, grounded sharply to third. Hanahan, he'll come home with it for one. Marson, no throw. Boy, that ball was spanked, and Hagedorn made sure he got the lead runner. He could have thought of turning two, but said, you know what, I may not be able to double up Coco Crisp. Let's get that lead runner at the plate.
Yeah, good choice to cut down the run. You don't want to give up any more runs. And, yeah, there's no guarantee with Coco's speed that you turn to. But they cut off the run, which is a good play. Now you get an opportunity with a double play to get out of this thing.
Here's Hideki Matsui. Has grounded out, flied out, struck out. Sogard forced at the plate, so Weeks advances to third. Pennington at second. Crisp at first. 1 out, 3-0 Oakland in the 7th. Lefty-lefty matchup. Hagedorn's ready. The pitch to Godzilla. A swing and a towering fly ball, medium deep left. Head is under it. Weeks can fly at third. He will tag. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is cut off. 4-0 Oakland. Head with a strong throw that was there on the fly, but the way Weeks runs, no chance to get him. And it's a 4-0 Oakland lead. But quite honestly, it's an inning where the Indians' defense has been at the root of these two runs.
They're lucky that it's not more than 4-0.
So Matsui gets the sac fly RBI, his 65th run batted in. 2 down. Pennington at second, Crisp at first, and the batter is Brandon Allen 0 for 3. But boy, Hagedorn's done a heck of a job coming in here in his major league debut. Lefty-lefty matchup. Brandon Allen digging in. 2 out, 2 on, 2 in. 4-0 A's. The pitch, and before it's made, he turns, fakes a throw. Tigers now have taken the lead 3-2 over Kansas City. Hagedorn, as a sophomore in college, combined with Tim Lincecum on a no-hitter. He delivers. Low ball 1. Lincecum went the first 6. Hagedorn went the final 3. His dad played football at Idaho. His mom was a volleyball player at Montana State. Now the 1-0 pitch. And dancing off second is Pennington, the pitch. Caught the outside corner, a strike, 1-1. Well, the Indians are going to have to get the bats going here. Down 4-0. Two out, 2 on. Hagedorn's ready, and the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled upstairs, 1-2. And Mike, there's I think it's more than a pretty good chance. I'm almost a near certainty that Hagedorn's a part of this bullpen next year.
Boy, you would think so if he is able to pitch well here this month of September in his opportunities, and then come spring training. But
he checks second. He comes to the plate. A swing and a ball popped up behind the plate out of play.
Well, not only to have 2 quality left-handed arms, but 3.
Nick Hagedorn. You spell his last name Hagadone. It's not Hagedorn. It's Hagedorn. He and catcher Lou Marson meeting on the mound. Hagedon's a guy that in 2008 had to have Tommy John surgery. So the good news is he's had it. Usually with pitching, it's not will he have it, it's when. He's had it, and he's back throwing with tremendous velocity. Now the 1-2 pitch. Slider missed outside, 2-2. A's 4, Indians nothing. We're in the 7th inning. First and second occupied, 2 down. Hagedon's ready. The next delivery to Brandon Allen. Swung on, fouled it back, and the count stays 2-2. In this series, and granted it's only the first time we've really seen Brandon Allen, he has been susceptible to the high fastball. Yeah. Big, strong left-handed hitter. He's 6'2", 235. He looks even bigger than that.
Pretty typical, Tom, of a big guy. Likes to get the arms extended out over the plate. Low ball hitter.
The 2-2, and he drives it foul down the left side off the restaurant windows.
That was 95 miles an hour from Hagedon, but it was down, and it gave Allen a little swinging room.
Indians play him as a pull hitter toward right. 4-0 A's, 7th inning, 2 outs, 2 on. The next offering. And Allen checks, it's a little outside, full count. So traveling time for Pennington at second and Crisp at first, and they both run well. The Indians' defense has allowed Oakland basically to have 5 outs this inning. Hagedon's ready. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. He got Brandon Allen for his first major league strikeout. We go to stretch time at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. Oakland 4 and Cleveland nothing. Gio Gonzalez, who's never lost to the Indians, now works with a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the 7th. Jared Head, 2 groundouts, leads it off. The number 8 hitter, the wind and pitch, and it's outside a fastball. Gonzalez is at 94 pitches, almost a 50-50 split on strikes and balls. 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. The 1-0 delivery. Down at the knees, a strike. Today's attendance, 14,192. The attendance brought to you by SS&G, Certified Public Accountants and Advisors. SS&G knows numbers. The 1-1. Head takes a strike on the inside corner, 1-2. Detroit got 3 in the third. They now lead Kansas City 3-2. They go to the fourth. Toronto with a 4-3 lead on Baltimore. They're in the fifth inning. Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Ran that curveball in on his hands and had his strikeout victim number 6.
Boy, and that's his best pitch right there. Even with that 93, 94 mile an hour fastball, that curveball was devastating.
Now Lou Marson has singled and walked. One game going on in the National League. Philly with a 3-1 lead on Cincinnati. They're in the fifth. Gonzalez pumps and fires. Marson takes high, ball 1.
Tom, it takes the fastball to get him there, but 5 of the 6 strikeouts, strike 3 have come on curveballs today.
Mike, every time we see him, you go, how does this guy ever lose?
Really?
The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, foul back, 1-1.
He's had a tough go here in the second half after the All-Star break, but he's like many of the other Oakland pitchers, Seattle pitchers. They don't get many runs scored for them, so they're always, seems like they're pitching under pressure.
27 consecutive shutout innings against the Indians. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on a little looping liner, base hit left center. So Lou Marson's had 2 singles and a walk. On a day where he went to the manager, Manny Acton, said, I'm catching, even though he caught 16 innings last night.
Well, it tells you something about Lou Marson, and he did not have a good night offensively last night. He could very easily have said, I'll sit down and take a day off and think about it, but he's come back here and been on base 3 times. 2 hits and a walk.
Top of the order, Ezekiel Carrera, 0 for 3. 4-0. Oakland leading the Tribe in the 7th. The Indians now with 3 hits in the game. All singles. The set, the pitch. Carrera shows bunt. It runs outside, ball 1. Indians still have time, but they've got to start doing something here with 1 out in the 7th. Gonzalez looking right at first. Now the pitch. Carrera shows bunt. It's high, ball 2, and the catcher, Recker, will take the ball to the mound. Well, why should today be any different? The Indians haven't done anything easy all year. How many times have we seen from the 7th inning on the Indians are at their best? If the Indians were a Little League team, they'd be about 40 games under 500.
Yeah.
But because we play 7, 8, and 9, the Indians are still in the hunt.
That's a good point.
Now the 2-0. That's high, ball 3. Boy, any way at all to get something going. And, Mike, that's because of the Indians' bullpen, too.
Yep, they've gotten good starting pitching that's kept them in the game. The bullpen has been lights out.
3-0 the count. The next offering just did catch the outside edge. 3-1. Gonzalez has walked 4 but has not paid a price for any of the walks. Carrera may be taking again. He's a good 2-strike hitter. 3-1 the count. Gonzalez deals. Carrera showing bunt, took a strike. Full count.
Yeah, Manny needs base runners right now with the top of the order coming up and the Indians down by 4. And this is a guy you take off, Tom, because he will walk you.
Marson at first with 1 out. Doubtful he's running with the Tribe down 4. The payoff pitch. Runner stays. Carrera fouled it to the screen. Still a 3-2 count. The Indians not much margin for error, not when you're 5.5 games behind Detroit. Trying to find a way to rally today. The set, the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Gonzalez has 7 strikeouts. He gets Carrera for the second time. 2 down for Kosuke Fukudome, 0 for 2 with a walk. Two out, runner on, 4-0 A's in the 7th. Seven more strikeouts today for the Indians. They struck out 19 times last night. A look at first. Now the pitch. Outside a curveball, ball 1. But this guy strikes out a lot of people. This isn't so much on the Indians hitters today. Gonzalez averages 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. He fires. Fukudome with a liner toward right. It gets down for a hit. Marson's going to stop at second. So the Indians, for the first time today, have 2 base hits in the inning. First and second occupied. 2 outs as Drupal Cabrera the batter. Cabrera hitless today in 3 at-bats. Oakland's done a good job with Asdrubal Cabrera in this series.
Well, they have pounded him hard with fastballs. They've shown him the breaking ball and pounded him with fastballs. We were talking about him a little earlier. I mean, he's played all but 2 games this year. He played in the All-Star game, so he's getting a little tired. The swing gets a bit long. But he has been there all year in the clutch. He's had big hits all year. Now would be a good time to snap this cold spell that he's been in.
Well, in this series, the Oakland A's have held Asdrubal Cabrera to 1 hit in 15 at-bats. Craig Breslow, the left-hander, is warming in the Oakland bullpen. The Indians have runners at first and second, 2 down in the 7th. A's leading the Tribe 4-0. Today, Cabrera, 2 flyouts and a ground out. He'll bat right-handed. The Indians need somebody to spark this offense here in the 7th. The set, the pitch. Swung on, fouled it at the plate. Strike 1, another good curveball.
Yeah, wouldn't you know it, just as we talked about pounding him with fastballs, they start him off with a breaking ball. It looked like Asdrubal was just geared for the fastball and then couldn't hold up.
Gio Gonzalez checks second. Comes to the plate. Curveball low. Not by much. 1-1 to count. Last night at midnight, John Adams was banging his head. Today he's back banging the drum. A lot of frustration here last night, but John's back at it. Indians found a way last night. Can they do it again? The 1-1 swung on, fouled upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes.
Asdrubal, you can just see the frustration right now with Asdrubal. He got a pitch to hit right there. Good fastball that time. That's in his bread and butter spot, and he looked like he was on it. He just fouled it off. Right there with it. But just a tad late.
He'd like that one back.
Yes, he would.
Larson at second, Fukudome at first, 2 down, Tribe down 4. The 1-2 delivery from Gonzalez. Swung on, he fought it off. Foul tip at the plate on a good curveball that was down. And Cabrera lives for another pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, by the time it got to the plate, that may have been ankle high.
Outfielders, medium, deep, straight away. Cabrera, 21 homers, 4 of them from this side of the plate, right-handed. Now the pitch. Swung on, lifted in the air toward the gap in right center, but routine for David DeJesus. The right fielder grabs it, and we head to the 8th inning. It's still 4-0 A's. Nick Hagedorn in his major league debut will work a second inning. He did a nice job getting the 3 batters he faced in the 7th with the bases loaded. Oakland has the lead 4-0. Fausto Carmona went 6 innings today. Gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned, allowed 8 hits, struck out 6 and walked 3, and pitched better than those numbers would indicate.
He didn't get a whole lot of help from his defense.
And now David DeJesus, the left-handed hitting right fielder, 0 for 2 with a walk. Lefty-lefty matchup. Nick Hagedorn from the set. He fires. Strike 1 call. This is why when you make trades, we've said it time and again, nobody wants to ever be patient. But you have to give trades 4 or 5 years to judge, Mike. And this is a perfect example. The set in the 0-1 pitch. Inside 1-1.
Yeah, with the injury, you say, uh-oh.
Here's Hagedorn now. A guy could be a part of your bullpen for a long time to come. And you've got a #1 starter in Justin Masterson. Victor Martinez is a heck of a player, but he's no longer in Boston. The 1-1. Down low, 2-1. And while you'd love to have Victor Martinez in the middle of your order, who would you rather have? From an importance standpoint, Justin Masterson and Nick Hagedorn or Victor Martinez? Take nothing away from Victor Martinez, but you need this kind of pitching. Now the 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1.
Well, and even if Hagedorn had not come up and not overcome the injury, you get a #1 starter like Masterson. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. 3-1 the count now. Hagedorn's ready, and the pitch to DeJesus. Swung on, popped him up. This one is near third base. Jack Canahan fighting the sun, comes in on the grass, and the Indians' third baseman retires DeJesus. Ryan Sweeney, the batter, 0 for 3. Enjoy the pennant race with the KeyBank Grand Slam 4-pack. Now, for $96, you get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs or slices of pizza, Pepsi products, Indians caps, and parking. All at Indians.com. Sweeney swings and misses, strike 1. 2 groundouts and a strikeout for Sweeney, who's now 2 for his last 29. Lefty-lefty encounter. Hagedorn's pitch. And Sweeney swings and flares one toward left field. Coming on, diving his head, it bounces by him, backed up by Carrera. And it'll be a single for Sweeney. Good effort by Jared Head, diving in shallow left center. But a flare job for Sweeney, and he's aboard with 1 out. And Anthony Recker coming to the plate.
Well, and a good job by Carrera to come in and back him up. Gave him the opportunity to try to make that layout catch, but ball hit just in front of him, and he couldn't keep it in front of him, got by him, but Carrera was there to hold that to a single. Boy, you got to look at that on the replay, Tom. He's lucky he didn't roll over on that glove hand. We've seen that happen before.
Catcher Anthony Recker, right-handed batter. Hagedorn's ready to come to the plate, and time was called as he halfway got through his delivery. Recker with a double, a walk, and a strikeout. Four runs, 9 hits for the A's. Nothing on 4 hits for the Indians. Hagedorn checks first. He'll come to the plate and bounce it in there, and a good backhanded scoop by Marson for ball 1. Kansas City's come back to tie the Tigers 3-3 in the 5th. That's been a heck of a series.
Well, you figured it was going to be the way the Royals played here.
The 1-0. Swung on, banged back up the middle behind second. Diving Cabrera kicks off his glove into center field. Big turn, but Sweeney holds. That'll be a base hit by Recker and a ball that wasn't hit very hard, but it was perfectly placed up the middle. 2 men on now with the one out for Eric Sogard, the number 9 hitter. Well, right now the bounce is going against the Indians here today. Sogard has a bunt single. He's 1 for 3. Tim Belcher, the Indians pitching coach, marching to the mound. The Indians and the A's meeting for the final time this year. 4-0 Oakland. We're in the 8th with 2 men on, 1 out for the A's. Corey Kluber warming for the Indians. The Indians got him last year in the Jake Westbrook trade. See, Bull Mills had 4 hits last night for Columbus. Former first-round pick has had a pretty darn good year.
Sure has.
Put up big numbers in Akron. Finally got to AAA, so Indians have been patient with Bull Mills. They may still be rewarded. Sogard digs in. Hagedorn checks second, comes to the plate, and fires a fastball strike. A's trying to snap a 5-game skid. Now the 0-1. Swung on a high pop on the first base side. This will be an infield fly rule. Santana lost it momentarily in the sun. Made a staggering catch at first for out number 2. Didn't have to catch it. It was an automatic out. Top of the order now, Jamiel Weeks. Switch hitter. He'll turn around and bat right-handed. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI, a single and a sac fly. Two out, 2 on. The set. The pitch. Just a bit outside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, bounced it in there, and it went all the way to the backstop. The wild pitch put Sweeney at third and Recker at second with 2 down. 4-0 Oakland. Told you about Cliff Lee winning last night. He finished the month of August 5-0 with an ERA of 0.45. In the month of June, Cliff Lee was 5-0 with an ERA of 0.21. The first pitcher in Major League history to have 2 months in one season with at least 5 wins, no losses, and an ERA below .50. The 2-0 pitch, high, 3-0.
Well, and we were talking to Gordy Lakey, Phillies scout, yesterday. He was saying their pitching staff has just kind of ham and egged it all year. If Cliff had a bad month, Halladay had a good month. Of course, they've got so many arms over there, so many ways they can go at you.
Now the 3-0 pitch. That's a strike. They really haven't gotten much out of Roy Oswalt because of the bad back. But you go into the playoffs with Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay, take your chances, huh? 4-0 the score here. We're in the 8th inning. A's at second and third, 2 down. Weeks awaiting the 3-1 pitch from Nick Hagedorn. Here it comes. High ball 4. So they're loaded up for Cliff Pennington. You wonder if Hagedorn is on fumes. This is 32 pitches for him, and I think Manny Acta feels the same way. Bases are loaded with 2 down. And we will have a Northern Ohio Toyota dealer's pitching change. 4-0 Oakland here in the 8th. Oakland A's have loaded them up again. This time there are 2 men out for Cliff Pennington, who will bat left-handed. Corey Kluber, now 25 years old, 6'4", 215 pounds. The Indians got him from San Diego. That was a 3-team trade in July of 2010 when the Indians traded Jake Westbrook to St. Louis. The Cardinals traded Ryan Ludwig to San Diego, and the Indians got Corey Kluber from the Padres. Now, Kluber this year was not as good as he and the Indians had hoped, but it was also his first full season in AAA. He was 7-10 with an ERA of 5.65 in 26 starts. So Kluber brought up because the Indians had to have some length after last night's 16-inning game. Nick Hagedorn in his major league debut went an inning and 2/3, allowed 2 hits, had a walk and a strikeout, did not give up a run. However, the 3 runners on with 2 down in the 8th are his responsibility. Kluber played 3 years at Stetson College in Florida. He's a native of Texas. Corey Kluber, 6'4", 215 pounds. This was his 5th pro season. Cliff Pennington, the batter, 3 for 4, 3 singles and RBI. He bats left-handed. Kluber the set, Kluber the pitch. And it's swung on, line toward the gap in left center. It's going to get down for a base hit. That is going to score Sweeney and Recker, 6-0 Oakland. So soft line drive single to left center for Cliff Pennington. And the A's have busted it open here in the 8th, leading 6-0. Weeks stops at second. Pennington has his 4th hit today. Now the batter is going to be the switch-hitting Coco Crisp. He'll bat left-handed. 2 for 4, couple of singles and RBI. The set and the pitch. And Coco Crisp takes down at the knees a strike. Kansas City leads Detroit 4-3 in the 5th on Melky Cabrera's RBI single. And boy, oh boy, do the Indians now need the Royals to find a way to win today, because it obviously doesn't look good here at Progressive Field. 6-0 A's with 2 down in the 8th and 2 men still aboard. The pitch. Fastball strike. Actually, that was an off-speed pitch strike over the outside corner. Might have been a changeup. 0-2 the count.
Well, the A's haven't tattooed the baseball today. 11 hits, 10 singles.
2 out, 2 on, 2 in. 6-0 A's. Kluber is ready on the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, yanked foul, screaming into the first base seats. Oh my. Nothing into the count. Kluber's ready in the 0-2. Swung on, another little looping liner to right. That's a base hit. Weeks will try to score. Here's Fukudome's throw to the plate. Slide, and the ball kicks away from Marson. And Weeks is tagged by Marson. And the home plate umpire, Al Porter, said, nope, he got in there. Fukudome made a pretty good throw. If Marson could have dug it out on the hop, they had Weeks at the plate, but it skipped by Marson after he got a glove on it, and the A's now lead 7-0.
Yeah, it looked like he had the plate blocked and that Weeks never got to the plate, but that's not what Al Porter, the home plate umpire, saw. He said Weeks got a foot in there.
Pennington stopped at second. So again, all of this with 2 men out, and the A's are in control now, 7-0. Hideki Matsui 0 for 3 with a sac fly. Shift is on, and he takes a pitch that was at the belt on the inside corner for ball one. Kansas City now leads Detroit 6-3 on Billy Butler's 2-run double in the fifth.
See if they can hold it.
Yeah. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Good slider. 1-1 the count. Boy, again, they all count. 12 hits for the Athletics today, but soft line drive singles, some seeing eye singles, but that's all part of the game. The A's have put the ball in play. The Indians haven't. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Athletics. Nothing on 4 hits for the Indians. Kluber is ready. And the pitch. Swung on, drilled to right on one hop. Knocked down and right by the second baseman. Donald's throw not in time. Bases loaded. Laying down on the ground is Santana. He better get up. Pennington at third thought about coming home. A one-hop screamer into shallow right that the second baseman Donald knocked down. His throw was too late. Santana stretching for the ball, then fell to the ground. We'll see how they rule this. Bases are now loaded with 2 down.
That could have been very tough for Santana, Tom, because he had to reach back, and the runner caught the glove in the arm, the glove hand of Santana. That could have been injury right there.
Here's Brandon Allen with the bases loaded, 2 down. And they'll give Matsui a base hit. Allen 0 for 4. The pitch. Over the inside corner, a strike. So 3 straight hits off Corey Kluber in his major league debut. Oakland has scored 3. Bases loaded, 2 down. They've batted around, leading 7-zip. Kluber's ready. Kluber's pitch. Bounced it in there, blocked by Marson. 1-1 the count. Nick Hagedorn gets charged with 3 runs in his major league debut in an inning and 2/3. But really, he's a 1-inning guy. He did his job in the 7th, but he came out and worked the 8th because
he had to.
Of exhaustion in the Indians' bullpen.
No doubt about it.
Now the 1-1 pitch from Kluber. A swing and a foul out of play to the left, 1-2. Now, Kluber is not a hard thrower. Sinker, slider, changeup. Pennington at third, Crisp at second, Matsui at first. 2 down, 7-0 A's in the 8th. The right-hander's ready, and here it comes. Strike 3 call. Brandon Allen goes, huh? 3 runs for the A's gives them a big cushion. 7-0 in the middle of the 8th. 7-0 Oakland on top. We go to the bottom half of inning number 8. Craig Breslow will come out of the bullpen. Breslow makes his 57th appearance. No wins, 2 losses, ERA .418. The story of today's game, Gio Gonzalez. Boy, he has done it again to the Cleveland Indians. Gonzalez went 7 shutout innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 7, walked 4. Gonzalez will carry his streak into 2012. He has shut out the Indians over 27 2/3 consecutive innings. Almost 28 consecutive innings of shutout pitching by Gonzalez against the Indians. Carlos Santana batting right-handed, takes inside and a high, ball 1. 2 walks and a ground out for Santana. If the Indians had a vote right now, Gio Gonzalez would be on his way to Cooperstown. The 1-0 pitch, swung on, lifted in the air to right. De Jesus battling that sun, makes the catch. 1 down. Well, when you do it for basically, 28 innings means 3 consecutive shutouts of the Indians. Mike, that's not a fluke.
No, and you look at his numbers, even coming in, Tom, 4-0 lifetime with an earned run average under 1. It's one of those things, I think, where a guy just gets confident that he's going to pitch well against another team or hit well against another team. And sure enough.
Here's Shelley Duncan, 1 for 3, a single. The pitch to him. In there, a strike. Well, how about what he's done at Progressive Field? Gio Gonzalez in this ballpark, if he wins today, is 4-0 and has given up 2 runs in this ballpark. Now the 0-1. Swung on, another pop-up. First base side. Brandon Allen gives way in shallow right to Jamiel Weeks. The second baseman retires Duncan. 2 down for Jack Hanahan, who's 0 for 3. 2 outs, nobody on. Oakland up 7-0. They give the A's some credit. It starts obviously with Gonzalez, but they've had a brutal road trip to New York, Boston, and Cleveland. 16-inning game last night. They could have mailed it in today. They came out here and looked like they're going to salvage 1 game in the 4-game series. Here's Jack Hanahan. 2 down. Breslow's ready, and the pitch. Inside, ball 1.
Well, a couple of young guys that got starts today at the bottom of the order. Recker and Sogard scored 3 runs.
Indians really haven't mounted much offensively because of Gonzalez. The 1-0. Outside corner, a strike, 1-1. Well, Detroit keeps coming back. It's now 6-5. The Royals lead the Tigers. They're in the 5th inning in Motown. Could pretty much predict how that one's going to end.
Well, let's hope they end the same way this weekend in Kansas City.
Now the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, another foul first base side. A ball and 2 strikes. The Indians and Royals this weekend in Missouri. The Tigers stay home to take on the White Sox. Tigers and White Sox will have to play a Sunday night game. They've been ordered by ESPN to play Sunday night. Then the Tigers have to play here Monday afternoon. The 1-2. Outside and low, 2-2. Evidently, Boston and New York are both off on Sunday. Thus, the Tigers and the White Sox will play Sunday night. And the Little League World Series is over.
So we'll take a trip to the Midwest.
You mean there's baseball there? But that could really benefit the Indians,
yes.
Mike. We need the White Sox and Tigers to play 22 innings on Sunday night. Now the set and the 2-2 from Breslow. Swung on and missed. So we go to the 9th inning. It's all Oakland today, 7-0 A's. Ninth inning, second inning of work for Corey Kluber. It's been a good homestand for the Indians. They trail Oakland 7-0. Good homestand in regards to how they finished it. They're going to win 3 out of 4 from the Oakland A's. Took 2 out of 3 from Kansas City, where the Indians got sidetracked. Was the start of the homestand.
That was the killer.
Seattle taking 3 of 4. First ball swinging, David DeJesus sends one toward right, caught by Fukudome. The Indians recovered nicely. What you hope now is the damage from that Seattle series, Mike, isn't fatal.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Here's Ryan Sweeney. He's 1 for 4 with a single. Cord Phelps now playing second base for the Indians. Jason Donald moves to short, and Asdrubal Cabrera gets the rest of today off. This is considered an off day for Cabby. He doesn't play the ninth. Ryan Sweeney takes. It's at the knees, a strike. 7 runs, 12 hits for the A's. Indians blanked on 4 hits. Kluber deals the pitch. Strike 2 call. Slider that time.
Now, started this homestand, Tom, 4.5 games back, and see what happens with Detroit here.
Now the 0-2. High to the backstop.
If Kansas City beats Detroit, they wind up the homestand 5.5 games back, losing just 1 game. That's why we said right at the very first game of this series against Seattle.
Now the 1-2. High, 2-2.
Boy, when you're playing these teams at home, Seattle, Kansas City, and Oakland, and you're in a pennant race, what did we say? 7-4, 8-3. If you'd have done 7-4, 8-3, at least you maintain ground.
The 2-2. Outside full count. Yeah, because you went 5-2 against Oakland and Kansas City.
But the Seattle series, even a split.
Yeah. Now the payoff pitch. And Ryan Sweeney takes ball forward, sails high, so Kluber walked him. That'll bring up Anthony Recker. 2 for 3, a double, a single, a walk. The 6-5 Royals still lead the Tigers. They're in the 6th inning in the Motor City. White Sox have today off. Now the pitch. Breaking ball up, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Check swing, he went around. 1-1.
Well, if the Indians go on and lose this one, they will be dead even with the White Sox.
Yep.
68 and 66.
8 left with Chicago, 6 left with the Tigers. That's the Tribe's schedule. Now the pitch. That's in there, a strike. 1-2 the count on Recker. Well, Chicago's in Detroit this weekend. They have 6 left with each other. That'll be an interesting series because the White Sox probably feel like they've got a sweep or close to it. The 1-2. Swung on, bounced to third. Hanahan bobbles, recovers, throws to second. They get 1. Phelps relay not in time. Sweeney forced it second. 2 down. Recker at first, fielder's choice. If Chicago goes into Detroit and wins 2 out of 3, they only pick up 1 game. I don't know, Mike, is it too early to say they have to sweep?
Well, there's more left after that, but certainly better 2-1 than 1-2. That's for sure.
They really can't afford to.
You can't afford to lose a series, no.
Yeah. Here's Eric Sogard. He's 1 for 4 with a bunt single. 2 down, a runner on. 7-0 A's in the 9th. The set in the pitch. In there, a called strike.
That 3-team race really adds a different dimension
to it,
doesn't it? When you got to think about the White Sox and the Tigers, when they've got to think about the other two teams.
Now the set in the 0-1. Swung on, foul down the left side, 0-2.
But the way this month of September is going for these divisional contenders, nobody's going to sneak in because everybody's playing each other rather than playing out of the division.
And tomorrow night, Justin Verlander, 20-5, goes for the Tigers. Now the set in the 0-2. High, 1-2. 10-second ID time, Indians Radio Network. Tom Hamilton, Mike Egan, and Jim Rosenhaus with you. Ninth inning, Oakland up 7-0. The pitch to Sogard. Swung on, banged foul outside of first. Count stays 1-2. Oakland got 2 in the fifth on RBI singles by Cliff Pennington and Coco Crisp. The Indians' defense was very poor in the seventh inning, and there was only one error charged, but there could have been two. And it really cost the Indians because Oakland got 2 runs because of it. And then Oakland opened it up with 3 in the eighth. But the big story today was Gio Gonzalez. 7 more shutout innings. The 1-2 delivery. Swung on, foul down the left side. Lower deck will do it again at 1-2. Indians are back home Labor Day. A 105 game against the Detroit Tigers. I'm guessing we'll see Verlander next Wednesday. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Corey Kluber strikes out Eric Sogard. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Indians looking for a miracle rally. They have struggled all day offensively. They're down 7-0. Craig Breslow will come on for his second inning of work. Oakland on top 7-0. Gio Gonzalez with 7 shutout innings. Breslow took care of business in the 7th. And now he'll face the bottom third of the order. He took care of business in the 8th with a 1-2-3 inning. That pitch over the outside corner to Donald. Strike one called. He's 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts and a line out. Breslow works out of the stretch and delivers. Swung on, foul back, 0-2. Breslow, hands resting at the belt, fires. Donald bangs it up the middle, off the body of Breslow, recovers behind the mound, throw to first, in the dirt, knocked down by Allen. A base hit for Donald. And Breslow is limping. He got smoked on a shot back up the middle that hit the ground first, but then came up and got Breslow, and here comes the trainer and manager, Bob Melvin. So Donald has the base hit, just the 5th for the Indians. The batter will be Jared Head, 2 groundouts and a strikeout. Breslow's going to make a warm-up toss to see if he can stay in. He'll probably be fine.
Looked like he had his body turned and caught him on the side.
So Breslow makes a couple of pitches. Says, yeah, I'm fine. So the Indians, for the second time all day, get the leadoff man aboard to start an inning. Jared Head, 1 for 14 since coming up from Columbus. Indians down 7 in the 9th. Head hits out of an open stance. His grandfather, a tremendous player at Kansas State in basketball. And he takes a strike. His granddad was on that K-State team that lost in the national championship game to Adolph Rupp and the Kentucky Wildcats. Jared Head digs in the pitch. Down low, 1-1 the count. Talked about him last night. Jared Head then went to Kansas State to play baseball, but after a year decided he missed basketball too much. So he transferred to Washburn University, a Division II school in Topeka, where he was the starting point guard. Also played college baseball, but he would miss a lot of each college season because of hoops. The pitch up high, 2-1. Was a non-drafted signee by the Cleveland Indians after they saw him in the Northwoods League playing for Brainerd. And Jared Head makes it to the big leagues after 6 years in the minors. Now the set and the 2-1. Swung on, foul back, 2-2. His family, very good friends with Lon Kruger, who was an absolute star at Kansas State, one of college basketball's better coaches. Lon Kruger has been at Florida, Illinois, Vegas, and now the head basketball coach at Oklahoma. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Head strikes out. Second strikeout for Breslow, 1 down in the 9th. That'll bring up catcher Lou Marson, 2 singles and a walk. One out, 1 on, 7-0 A's. We're in the 9th. 9 strikeouts for Oakland pitching today after they had 19 last night. Been a tough series for the Indians. The pitch in their strike, even though they're going to win 3 out of 4. With men in scoring position in this series, the Indians just 2 for 21. And that's going to have to change, Mike, the last month.
Well, too many strikeouts, not putting the ball in play. And the Indians lead the American League in strikeouts.
The 0-1 swung on, fouled upstairs, 0-2.
And as Manny has said in the past, that would be one thing if you're hitting 160 home runs, but this is not a home run hitting ball club. This is a club that should be putting the ball in play and using gap to gap, and instead, lots of swings and misses. Too many swings and misses for the type of team that it is.
Manny wants guys to, with 2 strikes, start making adjustments, cut down in the swing. The 0-2, check swing, he went around. Marson strikes out. Manny has talked to some of the guys, especially some of the younger guys. You get to 2 strikes, make an adjustment. Either choke up, move up on the plate, spread out, do something to make yourself a contact hitter.
Yeah, shorten the stride, be ready quicker.
Here's Ezekiel Carrera. He has struck out twice. He's 0 for 4. 2 outs, a runner on. 9th inning, 7-0 A's. This game is going to end just before the air show has its practice runs. We're not being invaded. The pitch, up high, ball 1.
We have been here before when they have practice. We've been here before when the air show has been on.
Yeah.
It's spectacular, no question about it, coming up this weekend down on the lakefront.
The set by Breslow and the 1-0. Inside, he spun Carrera out of there, 2-0. Back at the old Municipal Stadium, we were playing Seattle one year. Randy Johnson looked like he wanted to fire a baseball at one of the fighter jets. It was distracting him, and he wasn't exactly warm and fuzzy to begin with, and he was really irritated. The 2-0 in there, strike 2 and 1. What a career Randy Johnson had. As soon as his 5 years are up, he'll be headed to Cooperstown. Now the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled upstairs, 2-2 the count. Indians down to their last strike, trailing in this ball game, 7-0 in the 9th. We'll greet you tomorrow night from Kauffman Stadium, the Tribe and the Kansas City Royals. Of course, every game a big game now for the Indians. Can't stub their toe in Kansas City, not with Detroit coming up Labor Day. The 2-2. Bounced it in there, full count. So Donald will be off at first here in the 9th inning. Craig Breslow out of Yale and a one-time Cleveland Indian. He's ready. He delivers. And it's hit back up the middle off the glove of Breslow. Recovers, throws to first, gets Carrera. And the A's avoid the sweep by winning the 4th game in the series. Final today, Oakland 7, Cleveland 0.